All right, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to review a made-for-television movie here. Trilogy of Terror. Let's check it out.
The whole thing's terrific.
This is an anthology movie, and the first story is called Julie. Julie's played by Karen Black. In fact, she plays the lead character in all three stories.
I would like to amplify this aspect.
One of her students kind of taking a hots for her. Ooh, look at that leg. He imagines scenarios with her.
Tomorrow's class will be the final chapter of For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Trying to put the moves on her.
Oh.
Yeah, you see, my hobby's photography.
Well, that's very interesting.
I thought that maybe we
It's
could...
very nice talking with you, Chad, but I do have another class.
Yeah.
Well, he's determined to get it on with her, one way or another. First step, stalking. Spying.
French with English
And
subtitles.
then ask her out.
Classic. How about going to see it with me? For reasons of cultural expansion.
Well, I thank you, Chad, but you know, teachers aren't allowed to date students. Or didn't you know that?
Well, he does convince her to go to the drive-in theater, where they're watching The Night Stalker, which was directed by the same director of this movie, Dan Curtis. Oh, and he's going to give her some roofies. She passes out, they go to a hotel. He takes pictures of her. He does start to remove his clothes, and we're supposed to assume the worst, I guess, but they don't show any of that. When she wakes and gets taken home, she's none the wiser.
Now, Chad. No, I really must be firm about this. We can't go out again.
The next day, or maybe a few days later, he shows her pictures of her in compromising positions. And she knows what he did.
What didn't I tell you? My hobby's photography.
You drugged me last night. Did a police check.
She's going to call the police, she says.
First of all, you have no proof that I drugged you. I'll deny it and offer these photos as proof. Tell them you seduced me.
In class, he slips her a note, which, as you can read, after class, you are to come directly to my apartment. I've got some friends I want you to meet. So she goes.
Since that moment, your mind has not been your own. Why do you think you suddenly had the overwhelming desire to see what I looked like?
She has turned the table on him. Tables.
First you'll experience dizziness, then mild paralysis, and then total cardiac arrest.
You've drugged me.
No, dear, I've killed you.
Then she starts the place on fire to cover her tracks. This story ends with her taking the newspaper article about him and putting it in a scrapbook. Turns out this has happened several times before. She's a serial killer. And there's another person at the door. Our second story is called Millis and Tess, also starring Karen Black. Millicent lives with her twin sister and she doesn't like her. This is Teresa's boyfriend.
I doubt that you truly understand. Which is why I've called you here.
Why are you telling me this?
My sister is evil, Mr. Edmund. I think you should know that.
I'm afraid you're the one that really needs help.
How naive you are! Do you really think she cares for you? She lies to you. She laughs at you.
Sorry, but I really must be going now. It is truly bestial.
She's becoming more violent by the day. It's as if Father's death has released the demons within her. And I actually fear for my life.
This is Millis. I'm sorry, Tess.
I know all about what dear little Millicent told you on the phone. I was listening on the extension in my room, you see.
Here's the doctor, by the way.
We don't need you anymore, Ramsey. Why don't you just get the hell out of our lives?
Millicent has a plan.
I can no longer bear to live in this house and watch evil prevail. Something must be done. Yes. Therese must die.
At one point, the doctor comes back to a startling discovery. Therese is dead, and that's a voodoo doll or some shit? Guess what? No twins.
The most advanced case of dual personality I have ever seen.
Our third and final story, also starring Karen Black, is called Amelia. Amelia comes home with a doll she purchased at a store for her anthropologist boyfriend.
He who kills. Boy, are you ugly.
Mother, it has nothing to do with preferring.
Her mom wants her to come over instead. Kind of overbearing, his
When
mom.
do I break my word to you?
What do you mean, when? You give me a when, and when do I break my promises?
Oh, you should see what I'm getting him for his birthday.
It's a genuine Zuni fetish doll. I bought it in a curio shop on 3rd Avenue. Arthur teaches anthropology, that's why I got it for him.
And there's a golden chain wrapped around it to keep the spirit from making the doll come to life.
Well, you guessed it, the chain came off at some point. And suddenly our Zuni fetish doll is missing.
She probably just burnt up.
We all know what comes next. The doll has come to life and she tries to call the police.
I don't know where I'm located. Just get the police.
But it's a resourceful little fetish doll. At one point she does try to drown it in the bathtub. Could have worked a little harder though. She's been able to get it trapped in a suitcase. The thing has a little knife and saws his way out. Of course, that didn't kill him either, and comes out, bites her, and she's eventually able to throw it in the oven where she was cooking something. Now she's cooking Zuni fetish doll. When she's satisfied that it's cooked, so what happened at the oven?
No, I'm all right. Good. I'll be waiting for you.
Our last scene in the movie then is her waiting for the door to open. I believe a possession has taken place. All right, let's talk about Trilogy of Terror. Came out in 1975, I believe. Stars Karen Black and nobody else that I remember. Karen Black is it's an anthology series here. It's only 72 minutes long, so there's 3 short stories, all about 24 minutes each, something like that. And Karen Black stars in all 3 of them. They're all 3 stories have a title of a girl's name or girls' names. The first one is called Julie. Second one is called Millicent and Tess, or was it Tess and Millicent? Millicent and Tess, I think. And the third and final one was called Amelia. That's the one everybody remembers. The first story, she plays a college professor who's one of her students comes on to her. They actually go out on a date. He slips her some drugs, passes out, and he takes nude pictures of her and such, and probably assaulted her, although they didn't quite confirm that either way. Then he wants to blackmail her with the pictures he has, so she agrees to meet him again. This time she drugs him and kills him. And there's a little twist at the end. It wasn't just a revenge thing. This is what she does. She goes out with some of her students, and then she kills them. It just so happens this one took advantage of her first before she killed him, but she keeps a scrapbook of all of her killings, and that's how that one ends. The second one, Millicent and Tess, twin sisters, played by Karen Black. One of them is this mousy little girl who doesn't like her twin sister Tess, because Tess is more of a slutty type, wears short skirts, that sort of thing. So she decides she wants to kill her sister. We never see the two sisters together at the same time. We find out near the end why. Turns out they're the same person, and at one point she ends up dead. The doctor comes to see. There's like a voodoo doll. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but for some reason she was dead at the end of at the end of the story, and the doctor says it's the worst case of dual personality I've ever seen. Boom, that one's over. Then we get to Amelia. Amelia is a woman who is buying a doll for her anthropologist husband, or boyfriend, I should say. It's a genuine Zuni fetish doll is what they call it. It's this little like Aborigine pygmy something, I don't know. Small little things, maybe, a foot tall, 12 inches, and has a little like knife, saber, some sort of sword or something. Well, apparently there's a chain on it, and if the chain falls off, according to legend, the chain keeps the thing from coming alive. Well, the chain falls off, of course, and wouldn't you know it, our little fella there comes alive, starts chasing her through the house, and he just makes his noise like, and all the while slicing, and moves really fast too, slicing her in the legs and the arms and everything else. She tries to subdue it. She manages to try to get it in a bathtub at one point and almost drowns it, but she doesn't keep it down there. It gets out and comes after her again. She gets it in a suitcase at one point, and of course he starts sawing his way out of the suitcase. Then she stabs the thing, but that doesn't kill it. It gets out, it bites her, it's on her neck. Eventually she's in the kitchen struggling with this thing. She flings it into the oven, which is on because she's cooking something for her man, who's Arthur, is supposed to come and get this gift. And then the thing like burns up in there. I mean, it's screaming, it's on fire. And then when she thinks it's dead, she opens it up to look inside, and all we see is a view from inside the oven, and she screams. We don't know what happens. The next scene is her talking on the phone. I wasn't sure if it was her mother or her boyfriend, and she's like, come on over. And then she grabs a knife, and she gets down into like a catcher's position, a squat, and starts pounding the knife on the ground. And then she smiles, and then her mouth opens up, and we see she has the Zuni fetish doll teeth. So she obviously was possessed by that doll. That's the story that everybody remembers. That ends our movie, ends our story there as well. Nobody can forget that doll once you've seen it. I've heard people talk about this movie forever, people who were alive back then in the 70s and saw this. Like I said, it was a made-for-television movie. Nobody forgets this, and that was featured quite heavily in the ads for this too. I had seen trailers for this on videotapes back in the 80s, and they showed a lot of that doll. It's unforgettable. It's a really cool thing. So they did actually make a sequel to this, Trilogy of Terror 2, which came out in 1996 maybe, and the doll was back. So I've never seen that one. I don't know anything about it. But anyway, this is a fun movie. I've had this DVD put up by Anchor Bay, for probably 20 years. I don't know if I've ever watched the DVD until today, actually. I'm glad it works. Pretty sure this has a Blu-ray release now because, again, it's a popular film. Everybody seems to like it just because of that doll. It's a short film, 72 minutes. The stories move, the pacing's really quickly. It's nice. It's a nice little way to kill some time. So check it out. Leave some comments. I know you've seen the Zuni doll. Let me know what you think about it. And click that link down below. I'll leave a link to the Blu-ray, if there is a Blu-ray, on Amazon, and buy it because it's good. Leave some comments. Trilogy of Terror. Watch it. Bye.